Run it up, then run it back. Run it up, then run it back. Run it up, run it back. Run it up, then run it back.
Oh, hello.
Holy moly.
And welcome to Run It Back. Okay, we had a little bit of a spillage 14 seconds before getting here live on the air, and you can see it right over there. Guess who did it, just based on its geographical location?
No, it looks like me. That's not right.
Anywho, a lot of basketball to get to, you guys. I really hate that we're starting with
I'm under breath.
awful news. I know, we're sweating. There was a lot of scrambling to get all that done. But Jimmy Butler, out for the season. Torn ACL. Sham, shout out, reporting it earlier this morning. He will, of course, miss the remainder of the season. He was averaging 20 a game so far. Warriors currently sitting 8th in the West, and he does have that, oh, I hate seeing that, 26-27 season. $56 million on the books. I hate talking about that, but it is going to be a part of sort of everything moving forward with Jimmy Butler and trades. But I don't know if the window was even necessarily very open, but is it closed now?
Absolutely. I mean, I think this has technically been a disaster of a season for this Warriors group. Obviously, with the news of Jimmy going down last night, that's unfortunate news. Wish him the best. Wish him a speedy recovery. Also, very happy that he was able to secure his money, especially with him, being 36, 37 coming up. So I'm happy about that part. On top of that, they have development issues. They're struggling with this situation between Steve Kerr and Jonathan Kuminga. And the biggest thing is, you're wasting your franchise guy, top 5, top 10 player all time. You're wasting the rest of his season, this season and moving forward, because technically at this point the Warriors have no future. So this is a really bad situation with this Warriors organization and this group, and I don't really see any light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, it's not good. And first of all, like Boogie said, thinking about Jimmy Butler, I don't care, how long of a career he's had, how much money he's made. That's awful, and you never want to see someone go out, like that. But this is just a tough blow for the Warriors. Obviously, they make the big deal. They go and get a Jimmy Butler. He's guaranteed $56 million next year, and it's just it kind of just shines more light on the Kuminga situation to me, because they have a guy similar that they could have been playing minutes and not playing him, a 36-year-old guy, so many minutes, and when you have all this load management and all this science and analytics and stuff about that, and you're playing this guy a bunch of minutes when you have a clone of him and Jonathan Kuminga on the bench, kind of shines light to me that this could have possibly been avoided, but it's impossible to ever know. And it's just a tough break. Where they are right now, they're obviously fighting for a play-in spot. I don't think they're going to go up much higher than 8th right now. So, when you look at the teams behind them, Portland, they're going to play hard every single night. The Clippers, they're finding something. The Grizzlies, the Mavericks, they're all now all of a sudden thinking, okay, maybe we can pass this team and get into the play-in. So it's just a tough blow for a team that, really, really, really need this guy.
It just feels like yesterday the worst thing was the Kuminga situation, and then this happens. I know you got Steph and Draymond there, obviously, and Boogie touched on it a little bit as far as end of careers and how you want them to play out, Lou, but hard to imagine.
Yours?
Did you just...
What?
I'm sorry.
Why would you put mine there?
Why would you put his there? Y'all are weird. You
just wreaked havoc.
We're gonna get to the idea of Steph Curry. This is gonna be a rebuild. It's very hard to imagine both Steph and Draymond just hanging out for a rebuild as their careers dwindle out. But is that what we're looking at?
Yeah. Listen. Anytime you got Steph Curry in uniform, you have an opportunity to compete at the highest level. I truly feel that, and I want to send prayers out to Jimmy, hopefully for a speedy recovery, especially at this juncture in his career, being 36 years old, looking at a year-long recovery coming up. Just a tough blow. You hate to see that happen. So hopefully he gets an opportunity to continue his career on. As far as the Warriors go, I think this puts their back to the wall. Now they have to make a move if they still want to put themselves in a position to be in the conversation, to be competitive and to contend for a title while you still have Draymond, while you still have Steph Curry. Obviously, the people that are going to be communicated about when it comes to that it's probably going to be Draymond, and it's probably going to be Jonathan Kuminga, and that's obvious with him, demanding the trade. One of the glaring things that I saw last night in the blowout win, he was the only guy that didn't get an opportunity to play. Even the bench, even the third-string guys played 3 to 5 minutes.
Yeah.
He didn't even get that. So that's a telltale sign of something that's happening behind the scenes that they don't want to risk losing that asset in him to being able to shop him around and put them in a position to continue on. And so, should they go in full rebuild mode? I think they have an opportunity now. Like, look, we probably weren't gonna be in a championship conversation this year. Let's finish this one out. Let's see what happens, and we can go into the summer and look at what our options are. But I think at the deadline, they're absolutely going to be active in moving Jonathan Kuminga to see if they can speed that process up.
Yeah, the facts are, even with Jimmy Butler, they probably weren't a contender, right? But now you have to look at that situation, and he's owed $57 million next year. He's 36 years old. He's going to be 37. You don't know how he's going to bounce back from this. And then you have Jonathan Kuminga, and Steve Kerr and him have obviously a situation where there's no trust, there's no real relationship there. Is he going to go up to Jonathan Kuminga today in the practice facility and say, hey, man, sorry that we paid you and then we didn't play you and I've kind of been disrespecting you all season long. We need you now. And it's Jonathan Kuminga. I don't know if that's going to work, because if I'm Jonathan Kuminga and everything I hear, there's frustration there and it's built up, and I can't blame him for that. So now, like Lou just said, they're not a contender. They're not even probably a playoff team now, but how do you maximize that Steph Curry, closing window? And if it's Draymond with his salary, I don't know. What's the value of a Jimmy Butler coming off an ACL at 36 years old, owed $56 million? They do have some picks that they can play around with, and they have Jonathan Kuminga is really their only thing that they can move to kind of better this team and their future moving forward. Because Steve Kerr said they're a fading dynasty, and now they're fading even more after this.
And by the way, in a business that's not very loyal to their players, I want to see Steph and Draymond finish their careers as Golden State Warriors. They're 4-time champions. They're Hall of Famers. Their numbers are going up in the rafters. Like, I understand what the business is, but I hope the Warriors look at this and say, we want to honor our guys and we want to do something that this league typically does not allow players to do, and that's finish where you start.
So then that means that my following question you're probably saying no to, that if you're Steph Curry, do you ask for, first of all, I can't even imagine it, but I'm going to ask it anyways.
Hell no.
Do you ask, so you don't ask for a trade?
Hell no.
Boogie's...
I can't imagine him anywhere else.
I was about to say, I think we
we
can
said
look
that
at this.
before, though.
As fans, I could see, everybody saying no.
I get
as
no.
As a fan of Steph, I want to see him, ride off in the sunset as a Warrior. I want him to finish his career there. But obviously, with Steph still having, time in his career to still go compete for more rings.
I don't think he's that type of guy, though, Boog. That's what I'm thinking. I don't, a lot of guys will go ring chase. I don't think that's Steph.
I'm not saying it's ring chasing. I'm just saying giving yourself an opportunity to compete at the highest level.
I think it's going to be in Golden State.
And by the way,
what?
They
have no assets.
The data with them and the offense and their wins and losses with Draymond, Steph, and Kuminga, the lineup of Draymond, Steph, and Kuminga isn't horrible.
Yeah, but
so now again, can Kuminga get over the Steve Kerr thing? By the way, his contract's also up. So is there a world where the Warriors don't bring him?
Can Steve Kerr get over this Kuminga?
Well, they just showed you last night. No. He's not going to play.
Well, that's because Kuminga basically
even in a blowout, he still didn't play. In a blowout, every single person in uniform got an opportunity to compete except Jonathan Kuminga. He's not going to play for the Golden State.
Well, he's not going to play now till the trade deadline at least.
Yeah, but my point to Boogie about Steph Curry, yes, I would love to see him compete for a championship again, but his personality, his pedigree, and what he's done for the Bay Area, I absolutely don't see him asking out or them even thinking about moving.
What if he does it
from,
let's say this,
from how he carries himself?
He doesn't ask out necessarily. However, he does have a conversation with them and says, look, I understand where we are as an organization. I also know that my career is winding down. I'm just letting you know that I am open to hearing if the most perfect situation
That's
presents
37 years old, right?
Yeah.
He'll ride off in the sunset before I see that.
Yeah, I can't see. And also, I don't know, this is going to sound crazy, I don't know what the Warriors even get back for a 37-year-old Steph Curry right now to better that franchise. Like, you know what I mean? Like, Bob Myers is brilliant.
Hold on, slow down. Word that different, because let me make sure I heard it right.
I'm just saying, like, right now, you can obviously get something back, but I think it's the young guys that I think they're going to have to get a lot of stuff back. I'm sure Steph Curry for the next couple of years, maybe some picks or an expiring contract. No, I get it. I mean, he's great.
I think
Steph Curry.
37 teams are willing to blow their team up to acquire.
For what? For 2 more seasons?
I heard you right.
You think Steph is playing
Like
2 more
Steph
seasons?
Curry.
No, I don't know how many more seasons he's playing. I'm just saying.
At minimum 5.
This is the situation that they're in
Also,
right now.
we're
So
in
now
the
they're
sports entertainment business as well.
So their
That's
best asset is this 37-year-old Steph Curry. That's what I'm saying. That is not a good sign for an organization.
I don't think he's an.
But it's
I don't
not a
think he's an
normal
asset. If
37-year-old.
like I said,
He's not going
they
anywhere,
will,
first of all,
They
Sweet.
will build around him before they look to move him. That's how Jimmy Butler even got there. They're going to bring in pieces that they feel like can put them in a position to be competitive where they stand, opposed to him going out. I don't see any scenario where Steph Curry moves out.
But
I
then
don't know.
all
how he
that-
gets
Draymond
out.
go then?
That's what I'm
Steph
saying.
Curry
And that's
might?
conversation.
But all of that is easier said than done right now. Like, they're in a situation now. They do have those 2 picks. Cool. But you also have your youngest and best asset. You literally kill his value.
Devalued.
You self-sabotage that. Your next asset in Jimmy Butler is now damaged.
57
so you
million.
can't really get the maximum out of that asset. So how do you move forward and build around Steph?
The chat
With what?
chat has some input. And by the way, chat, shame on you for making me say this out loud, but I'm going to do it anyways. What about Anthony Davis, Kuminga, like some sort of package trade there? I can't.
It's going to
I can't
have
do
to
this
be
again.
some sort of package. It's going to have to be some picks involved, which, by the way, they might not even keep. They might then go and package those picks and bring on something else. But
They're gonna rebuild.
When you look at the state of this team, yeah,
For a long time.
it's not better this team now to be a championship. They don't have enough to do that. Like
At best, were they not just going to be disruptors anyways, not contenders?
Yeah,
They
when
were
you
gonna be
tell me when I
disruptors.
line up in the playoffs and I see Draymond and Jimmy Butler and Steph Curry, that's
That's a
scary.
problem.
Like
that's scary.
that's this now current situation with their budding star that's been getting disrespected all season long. He's checked out. Jimmy Butler now is going to be making $56 million, $57 million at 37 years old off a torn ACL. He's gone. Steph Curry, Draymond, another year older next year. Like, it's not a good situation. Podzimski, they got him. Maybe
Don't
that
do
he.
that.
Wait, you're not rolling.
Don't do that.
Steve's favorite.
Start shopping him because I don't know what
Wait,
else they can do.
You had a trade scenario this morning.
Though again, that would be a big
Why don't
trade.
you throw it out there? Throw the chum in the water and let's see what happens.
How do we feel about a Jimmy Butler, Kuminga, and 2 picks that are going to be really good to the Lakers for a LeBron James, a Rui situation?
Why are you winding down the voice at the end of that? Like just
I'm just throwing it out there. It's going to have to be something like that where it's.
I don't see the Lakers doing that.
Okay, so you say Lakers say no.
Yeah.
Really?
I mean, we talking about a guy that's 42 years old and still considered one of the faces of the league. He brings so much value to any organization that he's with. You just don't let that go for 2 picks.
But you have to look at your future if you're the Lakers also.
I mean,
He is
all
not
that
the
said and
future.
done. But, I mean, like Lou keeps saying, this is entertainment business. The money is important. Like that's.
But you have
what this
Luka
is
now
about.
to carry the entertainment.
I just think
banner.
also
So if you can have Luka and LeBron,
You have Luka and LeBron.
yeah,
You're
and
not
I
going
think they
championship
rather
like
stick
that.
with that than trading for 2 picks. and
Also,
a
whoever
injured superstar.
makes
Like-
this trade for Kuminga has to believe and want in Kuminga and pay him again because he's about to be up for the following season
He
again.
needs a
So
fresh start.
that's got to be his home. Whoever does that, you're not doing it for Jimmy Butler, an expiring contract at 37 years old. You are doing it for those picks possibly, and you're doing it for that you believe in Jonathan Kuminga.
My experience is competing against the Warriors. They're a Class A, Grade A organization. They're the one organization that shows a certain level of loyalty to their guys. I just don't see a lot of this movement happening. I just don't.
You said they show loyalty.
Except
From
for one.
my experience,
Yeah,
you
they
have a
traded-
different.
they
You
traded
have,
Clay,
hold
brother.
on. You have a different point of view than I do. Competing against them, you've been in uniform for them. We have
I
different
think they're a
perspectives.
great organization.
Yeah.
I think Joe did. I take that back. Let me correct that statement. When Bob Myers was at the head of the ramp, they were a great organization. I can't speak on them right
And
now.
I was out of the
But
game.
I
by
will
the
be
time they
saying, I know
switched
Mike
anything
Dunleavy.
up.
He's awesome. He took a tough job, man. He had some decisions to make, and now he's got even more decisions to make.
You took a tough job.
Boogie.
With
Think
Steph
about the
Curry.
Boogie.
That's
Same
a tough
song.
job.
Yes, 'cause
Same
look,
song, Boogie.
Come on,
right now they have Steph Curry's in a tough
I know
job.
that's your man, and that's cool. But to
Bro,
say
he had to
a
make a
tough
decision
job
on Jordan
of
Poole. He had to
putting
make a
a team
decision
around
on Klay
Steph,
Thompson. He had to make a decision on paying Draymond Green.
and they were all wrong.
Yeah, the Jordan Poole thing, I don't.
You traded,
Jordan Poole is
you
not wrong.
traded
You
a young
had to get-
asset.
Jordan
for
Poole and
a
Draymond
young
Green were never going to
point
play.
guard.
Draymond
It's
Green and
Chris
Jordan
Paul.
Poole were never going to play again.
Yeah, well, why did you
They
pick
had
that
to do
side
that.
you picked?
Come on, man.
Why
I
did you
should,
pick
I
that
should
side?
spill my tea every morning. I like the energy. I should spill my
I thought you were
drink
gonna actually spill
every
tea. I
I
was like,
smell
oh,
like
no.
lavender. I'm sticky. It's hot as shit in here.
Okay. So,
Hold on, answer me this. Is Steve Kerr, is he the coach of the Warriors next year?
They better not.
Okay, but you just said they're loyal, so
Yeah,
I mean,
they better
aren't they going to
not.
give him the decision?
He's also a free agent.
He's also the common denominator in every issue they have going on with this Warriors organization. So I don't see why.
Is there also a world where they say, okay, look, Kuminga, finish this year out. We're not going to move you. Steve Kerr's not going to be back next year, and it is you and Steph and Draymond. We're going to run it back. Is that a possibility?
So there's no.
I don't hate it.
Here's the thing.
I don't hate it.
Everything that we're saying up here is now it's the window is closed, which brings me back to I don't want to watch Steph Curry's final 2 seasons, whatever they might be in this league, just be like, oh, cool, we're going to go watch Steph warm up for games and watch him lose games for the next 2 years. Like, I don't want that. And I don't know that he necessarily would ever ask for a trade either, but wouldn't it be more fun if he was on a relevant team
100%.
to end things?
And he's not right now, and in the
At
way
all.
it looks and the way that their team is built, he's not going to be next year if he's on the Warriors.
I know, it's kind of a bummer. Well, what a fun way to start the show. But the good news is, was voted in. He is an all-star starter in the West. We're going to start with the East, however, because we did this yesterday. We sort of broke down what you guys thought it was going to look like. Pretty darn close. In the East, Jalen Brunson, Cade Cunningham, Tyrese Maxey gets the nod, Giannis and Jaylen Brown. Tyrese is the difference than what we had yesterday. The West, we have Luka, Steph, SGA, Jokic, and Wemby starting for his second straight season. Just as a reminder, the fan vote's 50%, players 25, media 25. Steph as a starter, no one had. It's kind of funny coming off the conversation we just had with Chandler, but
well, I mentioned
I
mentioned it
Legacy.
yesterday, and when we talked about it, it might have been a him or Kevin Durant act, and we thought that would have been over Anthony Edwards or Wemby.
yeah, that was crazy talk.
The fan voting, I think, obviously came down to the tie with Wemby and the fan vote. But, I mean, Anthony Edwards, 30 points, 4 assists, 5 rebounds on 50 from the field and 42 from the 3 on the 4 seed.
Yeah.
All across the board. And, again, no shade to Steph Curry. He is a legend. He's a legacy act. All across the board, Anthony Edwards' numbers are better, and his team is better. So I would say that, to me, is probably the biggest snub. You can argue Steph still could have made it over Wemby, but his impact on both sides of the floor, I think Wemby deserves to be on there. So this would be the only – again, Steph Curry deserves it. He's awesome. Like, it's going to be fun. But
you had to have a legacy, and that's a good
why? You don't have to.
Well,
This guy's having a better season.
Well, I think one big thing we're missing in this is that 50% fan vote.
It's huge.
Yeah, Steph Curry is global. There's no way around it. Right. Steph Curry is global. So when you put some of this in the fans' name, in the fans' hands, this is what's gonna happen. You know, and Edwards got a bad break, and I hope he uses this as motivation. Obviously, he'll still be a reserve, but you know, it's a big difference between being respected as a starter and a reserve. And I hope he uses this as motivation, and he carries that in the second half of the season to make for some really good basketball to be played. And he should feel a type of way. But at the end of the day, we're talking about Steph and Curry, one of the pillars of our game. We just had a whole segment about him and his future. We got to take all of those things into consideration. Yeah. So an absolute bad break for Ant Edwards, but listen, it's Steph Curry.
The players had Ant fourth, and they had Wemby 7th.
Well, the players, let's be very clear about the player vote. We don't care.
Oh, we're going to get to
by the way,
that.
the players should never be able to vote.
The players should never vote. We don't care.
Because I remember, like, when I was playing, all I would do was vote for my teammates that had like a chance of getting an All-Star game.
Here's what players did. And by the way, you got to take this more seriously. 2 players actually voted for Bronny.
Never did it.
4 for Isaac Jones, 5 points over the season. 10 players voted for Georgine Yang, who has yet to play this season.
It's not a bad vote.
Well,
like, do you think like Schroeder's gonna give an honest opinion on Luka? Like, it's why are the players? But I get they're on the court and
so it should just be media and fans.
Media for sure. I don't think coaches will have the same thing.
Why should the media have more influence than the players?
Well, because again, the players don't care. The players are just going to pick their boys.
I just said 10 votes for Yang.
You got to pick one lesser evil.
Players voted for Bronny James.
How many times have you
Yang.
come into the locker room and that paper is on your locker and you
know how tired you are? You just circle your teammates and you keep it moving.
When it comes to like making the best. We're sitting here now having a discussion about people that should have been and shouldn't have been in this starting lineup. And then we sit here and say the players shouldn't have a voice in it. When we're the ones competing against these stars.
But they don't care. They don't care.
So why should so
what
I
just said?
So the media cares.
Us three, we're media. I think we would have given a better, more honest opinion than teammates.
We're not talking about former
Boogie,
players.
did you vote?
We're talking about media.
We never voted this. We never voted.
None. Did y'all? None of y'all did.
Not to care. No.
I would do
But
this.
did you
I
even
never- I
try?
never did.
Yes, I did. You'd
I
get to your
voted for myself a few times.
exactly.
That's okay. I
You'd
feel
get
like-
to your locker. I'd be like, oh, Dirk's 40 when I was in Dallas. He's my teammate. I'll vote for him, even though he's averaging like 7 points a game. Like it's what you do. You just.
But why couldn't you take that same amount of however many minutes that was and actually just do it?
Because you don't care. You're competing against these people. I don't care to make
care if
So that's why-
Tyrese Maxey
that's
makes
why-
the All-Star game and I'm playing against him tomorrow night. Like I don't care.
I mean,
No. Like
okay, so
these
then
are,
that's why we're
these are-
taking the player vote away.
No.
And the coaches, same thing, same bias, same everything. The coaches, if I'm Chris
So you're
Finch,
just leaving
I'm
media
going to
fans.
vote for Anthony Edwards and not Steph Curry, knowing that might give my guy a nod.
So my question is this. All right, we talk about the coaches. All right, boom. Kuminga goes to another squad, has an all-star season. You think Steve Kerr is going to honestly vote him in?
No, I don't think coaches should either. That's
So
what I'm
what do we-
saying.
Well, they do the reserves. Like, are we fine with that?
It's not, listen.
So if the media member is a
I'll be
fan
the
of Steve
diplomat
Kerr
here.
and not of Kuminga,
Obviously,
you think Kuminga's getting
everyone's
an honest
going to
vote?
have their favorites in their bias.
That's what I'm saying. So everybody should have a voice.
Clearly,
in
the
it.
fans do too. They're voting over Steph Curry over a guy that has a better
There's
season
going to
so
be
far.
some type of bias no matter what group is voting.
Whoever the group is that voted for Bronny, Isaac Jones,
Get rid of
and
them.
which is us.
Or how about this?
You think?
It
It might have
is.
been Bronny.
That's the way
Not
he's
twice.
a player, so
Not
he
twice.
qualifies as us.
Make the ballots public, so you don't have to
I
look like
agree with
such an
that.
idiot if you vote
Or you
for.
can look
Okay.
like an idiot.
Okay.
Or if you want to look like a fool and vote for
Yeah.
Brian James, who's never played,
I do,
then
yeah.
let's put your name on it.
Bring some exposure to it. I agree.
But does
At least
everybody
then-
actually fill it out,
No.
or most of y'all don't even fill it
No.
out? Okay, so it's not even.
Trash can. I don't care
Damn,
who in the
man.
All-Star game. I'm trying to
Okay.
get my vacation together. I don't care what y'all doing on All-Star weekend if I'm not in the running for All-Star.
This is why the state of the nation.
2014 was the last year they got the voting right.
And we never. And
why is
listen. And you know what the reality of it is? We have so many really good players every year. That's why it's a big deal to be a snub. That's why that's a whole segment in itself. It's only 5 guys that's going to be able to start.
Right.
Like,
We're the best basketball players in the absolute world. Very rarely is it only going to be 5 guys deserving of something that's given out.
so also think about it. It's just
We're never
silly.
gonna get it all
The
right.
Warriors team voted for Steph. The Timberwolves voted for Ant. It's a wash.
Also,
And
when
listen,
you go global,
you know what
it's
it
a big
also
part.
you know what it also is. We got to put some of the onus on the fan bases, on these markets as well. We know what Golden State market look like
absolutely.
when they do all of these promotions to vote, and your vote counts for 2 times this day and that day.
I hate
if
that,
you
by
want
the
your,
way.
I do too.
Zaza,
But if
Zaza,
you
when
want
he
your
was on the
guys to
Warriors,
get
Yeah.
in, get involved.
LaMelo Ball
yeah.
last year was like the highest voted.
Jeremy
Yeah.
Lin had crazy votes. So
Nate
it's like,
Robinson
it's-
got a bunch of votes. Jeremy Lin got a bunch of votes back in the
Didn't
day.
Ennis Cantor, like when you're somebody had like
like-
a crazy number too.
The
So it's-
Zaza Pachulia one was crazy.
Considering.
I actually
We'll
wanted
never
him to
get it 100% right, but I do feel strongly about the player vote because I know I've been in 17 different locker rooms and I know how seriously we take
Yeah.
it, which is none at all.
It's not that we don't know better. We do. We play against these guys. We just don't give a damn during the season. And I'm just going to vote for my boys or my teammates.
Y'all got to do better, bro.
Oh, y'all.
gotta do
Y'all.
Boogie too.
What
Boogie
about this?
voted
Oh,
for
you
Boogie.
used to take your time and
just
clipboard
yelled
and
you.
vote.
At least I voted.
No chance.
You voted for
At least I
yourself.
voted.
And he
You
voted for himself,
You vote
like-
for yourself and John Wall every year.
And
2 people that deserve it. Don't sound bad to me.
And you sound like the media.
Okay,
Kentucky
wait.
guys. Voting for your guys.
Yeah,
You sound like the media.
but at least
Zaza's
his
an
guys
all-star,
are
I'm
like.
an all-star.
Favoritism.
It's valid.
Ronnie got 2 votes. You got this is ridiculous.
I don't even know who
Who are the
Isaac
two,
Jones is.
Bronny and LeBron?
That's
or no
I
chance?
would like to see that.
I'd
by
love
the
to see
way.
which 2 voted
Did
for
the
Bronny.
East? Are we good with the East?
Because you know how
doing-
embarrassing that would be if it was public and it came out that LeBron did that?
I mean, listen, Bronny is a
Sound like a good
Bronny is
father to me.
He's a popular personality. I'm trying to figure out the Isaac Jones one. That's
don't even know
that's
what
the
that
one I'm
means.
hung
Like-
up on.
Who did that?
Like his AAU squad, his old
4.
teammates.
4 people.
You know the 4 people that did it?
He took
3 of his teammates in the locker room
Just sit
playing
next to him.
around
Yeah.
and did that. That's
No,
that's literally
no,
what's going
I'll
on.
take it a step further. The vets made him fill out theirs, and he circled his own name.
Okay, well that's actually kind of funny.
That's
that
been
I don't
done
hate.
before, too.
Are we good with the East? I know you guys had Donovan Mitchell, not Maxey, yesterday, but also.
No
Yeah,
problem with
no
this.
problem
We
with
were
that.
fine
Either
with
or was,
No problem
was,
with the
was
East.
a perfect
Yeah.
fit.
By the way, I just saw Shams tweeted that Maxey's getting his own signature shoe with New
With?
Balance, debuting
Nice.
later in 2026.
Much deserved.
I know, so that's just a good all-around 24-hour period for young Mr. Maxey. And
I need that UKPE, brother.
Okay, can you get the shoe for her? Like,
I
can
just
you
got
Go another vote.
Put it out
Look at
there.
it.
Yeah. I voted
Look at
for
him
you.
go.
I voted for you, man.
You know you did it.
Go
We're
Big
gonna
Blue.
take a quick
Go Big Blue.
hoops. A lot of hoops yesterday. We'll get to those games next. God, look the man live.
That was electric first
Run
thing.
it up, then run it back.
We do have games, but we'll get to that.
Let's play it.
Fun day yesterday. Celtics, Pistons. Pistons beating Boston, third straight win, 104-103. Cade, 16 and 14. Jalen Duren, 18 and 9. Tobias Harris with 25 points on this one. Jaylen Brown did have 32 and 11. The season series is now won by Detroit, 3-1. Every single one of the games has been decided by 7 or fewer points, which is pretty cool. And I think Jaylen Brown and Cade Cunningham is a pretty good matchup. Eastern Conference Finals, this is the best possible scenario, right?
I agree. This was much-watched TV. This was a great matchup. Two teams leaving it all on the floor. Cade Cunningham, obviously the head of the snake with the Pistons. Jaylen Brown leading this Celtics group, both playing high-level basketball. It was a battle down to the wire. The best team came out on top. But I could definitely see this being an Eastern Conference matchup later on in the year, and I think it'll be must-watch TV.
Yeah, and I think this is huge just from Detroit to be able to handle them 3-1 in the series. Obviously, they're 4 or 5, 6 games up on them right now, but they would obviously get the tiebreaker. And this would be an awesome series. It feels like a throwback type situation where it's going to be physical. It's going to be games, and I feel like in the 90s or maybe even the 80s in the playoffs where everything's half court. It's tough. This is an awesome matchup, and I do think the way that the season's going for the Knicks and the Cavs up and downs, we're probably looking at the Eastern Conference Finals right here.
Yeah, I like this matchup, and I look forward to seeing it happen in the playoffs. I hope it happens because both of these teams have attitude to the max.
Oh, yeah.
From the coaches to the players to the fan bases to the cities. I love everything about this. I really hope we get more basketball from these two teams.
This is going to be a good one. Okay, we'll get to that. Duren, All-Star Reserve lock. Yay, nay?
Absolutely.
Across the board. Nobody's
18, 11 efficient, monster.
1,000%.
You know he's 22 years old.
I do
That
now.
man right
do
there is
now, thank
22
you.
years old.
That's crazy.
You should see this video. I saw a video of him in high school, bro. He looked like that. Like he is just a man-child.
Thank you.
22 years old. He's only going to continue to get better. JB Bickerstaff is the perfect coach for him to continue to expand his game, but he knows his game. You don't have to throw him the ball. They never call plays for him. He is just a junkyard dog, works hard, catches lobs, offensive rebounds. He's an absolute stud, and he knows his role as a big, which is huge at 22 years old.
I mean, even to piggyback off of that, you talk about the attributes he has as a player. Everything you just mentioned, facts. But the fact that he can play with the ball in his hands, he can create his own offense, he can put the ball on the floor, he can even shoot it a little bit. So this kid has a lot of potential. He's not a finished product, but man, his future is really, really bright.
Is there a better big man in the East? I'm thinking as I ask the question.
In the East?
Yeah.
His name would be Giannis. So yes.
Or like a center, like a Bam, or like someone like that.
Yeah.
No, you're looking at the team. You're looking at the
taking
Team
that.
USA center right here.
I agree with that. I actually do agree with that.
100%.
I do think he's a starting center for Team USA at some point.
Gotta be.
So yeah, like I said, this kid's future is really, really bright.
Is he the starting center for Team USA?
Without a question.
Throw Anthony Davis in there if he's healthy.
If he's
Without a
Bam.
question, Jalen
Stop
Duren.
doing if he's healthy, please.
Cat, if he wants to be American.
Well, yeah, no, he doesn't play
Cat's
for the US.
Dominican.
Yeah. Psh, so no.
Jalen Duren.
By the way, if you are the Pistons, and there are a lot of people out there, not named me, who have basically dismissed you and assumed that New York and or Boston will beat you come playoff time, you gotta feel a little disrespected, right, Lou?
I want all the clipboard material I can take if I'm Detroit. Anything that can get me motivated and push me over the edge and not just being the #1 team in the East, but actually going out and proving it and beating these teams, I'm taking all of the motivation that I can get. So, yes, I feel disrespected for the Celtics. I feel disrespected, people saying that we're not as good as the Knicks, as the Sixers, and all of these other teams when we've been a consistent all year long going into this All-Star break. I'm using everything, absolutely.
Yeah, and I don't think they're as good. They're just not as talented on paper. You know what I mean? But that doesn't matter. These dudes play hard. They're a top 5 offense. They're a top 5 defense. They move the ball. They play unselfish. They're so well coached, and they're going to outwork you and outplay you. And as we know in the NBA, that's going to get you some games, especially in the playoffs where there's less possessions and they play slower and they're bogged down. The Pistons have the advantage in the half court against any team in the league.
How have we not learned our lesson? Like, we literally did this with OKC. We did the exact same. We're like, they're the #1 seed, but I don't know.
Well,
it also
no clear-cut #2 option. There is some concern.
Because they got multiple options.
But to be fair, It took OKC a couple of seasons to get everything going.
Well, they've got one already.
They're in diapers still.
It took them a couple seasons. So
I consider this
I think
season
the Pistons are in that mode right now. They're still young in this process. Like they've been number one all year, but we saw this story last year with Cleveland, right? Now you got to prove it. You got to see it through.
Yeah, but they're tougher.
Yeah, but you still got to prove it, because if we're looking at a Boston Celtics team and we're talking about a rivalry and we might get JT soon enough, like we're having a different conversation with different circumstances.
You know, since we're saying Detroit's tougher than Cleveland, JB coached that same team in Cleveland. So clearly that's just the DNA of those guys in that locker room, and Pistons versus those guys.
I mean, I didn't say it.
I love it, though.
Yeah, there you go.
I love it.
The JT situation, we've got video. It's kind of fun to see what he's been up to and his progress, and it looks like Jason Tatum is coming along quite nicely. Maybe
I know this ain't the video that's supposed to get us going.
Well, I mean, I think any video, if you're a Celtics fan, makes you very happy. It does it?
Nah, this ain't the one getting me going. I ain't gonna cap y'all down here. That ain't the one that's gonna get my juices flowing. Pause.
What would you like to see? So wait, so that doesn't do anything as far as like his return and stuff?
No, I've seen better rehab videos.
The last one was
I've seen better rehab videos from Jason Tatum than that.
Well, don't yell at me. I didn't put the video together.
Yeah, I want to see him on the rim. I want to see him making dynamic moves to the basket. I'm cool on the behind the back pass.
Yeah, that was some shooting around work.
Yeah, I'm cool on that one.
Like a little warm up.
Yeah, that one didn't do it.
Then they're not going to be.
I will say, as a team, though, it's good to continue to see his progression.
Just keep putting stuff out.
Yeah, exactly. Continue to see him. I'm sure he's still sitting in on the film sessions and in the team meetings, and he's very much involved. And then you see that before and after practice. That's got to be motivating for the Celtics, knowing he could be coming back.
Does it feel inevitable that the second he actually does return to the floor, that they just jump up to the predicted number one spot in the East?
Well, it's gonna be a warm up. He's gonna be coming off the bench. He's gonna be on minutes restriction. We probably won't really see him in full form until about 4 to 6 weeks after, once he starts getting going, gets his wind back, and he can play the minutes that he's capable of playing.
Like, I love Detroit, but if I was gonna put $1 on something, I think I'd.
There'll be some rust. Look at the Paul George come back, the Klay Thompson come back. Like, there's gonna be some rust.
There's gonna be some rust. This isn't an ankle sprain. This isn't even an ACL. This is a process where you basically.
You had that injury.
I had the same injury. This is a process.
How long?
It took me a year. So this is a process where you literally have to learn how to walk all over again. So to think this is something where he just jumps back out there and he goes to average 30, that's not how it works. It's definitely going to be a process. It's definitely going to be a ramp up period. And, you know, it's no doubt in my mind he's starting off with a minute restriction. So
for sure. Yeah.
I can't sit here and say, yeah, the Celtics are going to jump up to. All we know is.
Are you surprised he's even at this? I mean, it's
but
9
however,
months.
If I'm the Boston Celtics and I'm playing the way that I'm playing right now, and I can add JT to my bench for 15 to 20 minutes a game,
absolutely.
Cool.
It's positive.
Are you going to get real upset when he comes off the bench, Boogie? I don't want to hear you cry about it.
I'm not going to be upset about it.
By the way, Wemby did start last night, for the record.
Thank you. It's been 2 months.
About damn time.
I got real happy when I saw that. We did have some more games. We've mentioned Cavs. We've mentioned Thunder. They played each other. This was not entertaining, actually. OKC, 136-104. SGA with 30. Chet, 28 and 8. Mitchell, not named a starter, did have 19 points, 5 of 18. Cavs' worst regular season loss in nearly 2 seasons under Kenny Atkinson. Chet was a big story last night, Boogie, or yesterday, because he's obviously on a team with J-Dub and SGA. And I think sometimes maybe we overlook him, or maybe we just need more of this. Which is it? Or both? Well,
I think Chet does an incredible job of, playing his role, doing what's ever needed for the team to be champions and continue to try to be champions. But obviously with the injury of Jalen Williams and him, going down, this is an opportunity for him to, continue to show his talent. This isn't a guy that's a surprise in the league. He's been a number one option throughout his whole, young basketball career, from high school to college to now. So this isn't, some secret. It's more so about opportunity, and I think now that he has to take that step in scoring, I think we'll see a lot more from him.
And defensively, he is an anchor for them in the paint. He's long, he's athletic, and he's not going to blow you away with crazy numbers. At 18, 8, 3. He's efficient, though. He can step out and shoot the 3. He's a perfect pick-and-pop big for SGA and for this team. So I think he's an all-star for years to come. I think he's an all-NBA talent. When you look at the dominance of them during the regular season, how good and how much separation there is from the Thunder, they're probably going to get 2 All-Stars, and with the way Jalen Williams...
you think he's an All-Star this year?
He's got to be, just because the way Jalen Williams' season's gone, he's not, and they need 2. And again, he's having a great year. It's just we're so used to these crazy numbers of guys averaging 25 plus, and that's not Chet, but he's so valuable for this team, offensively, defensively. He's an All-Star lock.
I found it interesting that after the game, Kenny Atkinson said that he's the biggest difference maker and the best rim protector in the league right now. Currently, odds-on favorite for Defensive Player of the Year.
He's the favorite?
Yeah.
It's because Wemby was hurt?
Well, but he's not. He hasn't missed the threshold yet. Maybe the assumption is that he will miss it. I don't know. Do you agree with that, Lou? I thought it was a little crazy.
Hey, Kenny Atkinson got his. Listen, he got his own point of view. So
wait, hold on. Rudy Gobert's the second favorite. Oh, let's throw that out there.
With this shit again.
Is he actually?
Why
are people not?
Conrad in my ear.
Wemby's winning it.
I think they feel like he's going to miss the 65-game threshold in time. I don't know. Don't ask me. I would never do this. But that being said, Lou, it is interesting for him to say that about Chet. I thought.
One thing we can't agree on, that he's one of 2 or 3.
Okay, we can do
right. He's one of 2 or 3, and Wemby might get in some trouble with the 65-game threshold. Teams have also found a way to kind of draw him away from the rim a little bit as well. With OKC, they have the luxury of perimeter defenders where they can kind of keep Chet at the rim, and he's doing things like this. And so being in the conversation, being the favorite, that's going to come down to the experiences. And last night when a team beat you by 30 points and you're the coach and they ask you that question about 20 minutes after that, that's probably going to be your point of view. And so with that, and also with what Chet's been able to do the entirety of this season, I don't hate the fact that Kenny Atkinson gave him his props.
And guys like Chet and Wemby too, like they're thin and they're frail body type, but no one's gonna call them soft. Like, you know what I mean? Like they're pretty tough, and like they're gonna get dunked on. They're gonna get bodied sometimes, but they are fearless. They try and block everything, and for their body type, they're pretty tough.
Right, fair enough.
Like you wouldn't
Makes you
think
feel weird
that,
to say that, or?
Looking at him. I'm saying you're not picking on him.
Yeah, I'm not thinking they're weak in any way whatsoever. If anything, you're just like, ooh, I can't wait for you to get in the weight room some more, which is weird to say about a grown-up. Jalen Williams, going to be out at least a couple weeks with the hamstring strain, Lou. They are 19-1 without him, 17-7 with, just a little bit of math for backup there. I don't even know, do you sweat this if you're okay? Other than just, it's a bummer.
I think you sweat it, but at the same time, I think we're confident as well, right? Like, you obviously want Jalen in uniform, and he gives you a great opportunity to win games. And then you look at it and say, well, we're 19-1 without him. I feel like we're still a pretty good group, and we've always credited OKC for being a deep basketball team, and they've been able to earn that pedigree of what we've given San Antonio. They're a plug-and-play basketball team. We have a certain culture and a certain way that we hoop, and the way that we play, we can plug guys in. Now, I'm not saying that they have anybody in uniform that can replace what Jalen does, but collectively, they can continue on and win basketball games. And so I don't think if you're OKC, you overreact. Obviously, you have a lot of assets that they've always had that they can kind of go out there and see what's available to them if they wanted to make a splash or if they wanted to kind of plug a hole there. But if not, I still feel confident in what we can be able to accomplish.
Yeah, you don't panic just because of what Lou said, because of that depth, because of that balanced bench that they have where you can plug and play the Wiggins and the Isaiah Joes, the Carusos. They can collectively kind of make up for the production. You can't just replace Jalen Williams. He is their second best player. He is their all-star, their all-world two-way guy, and they are a much better team with him, although that record says otherwise. You just don't want this to become a trend. You're a young, budding star. You don't want this to start becoming a thing, and you want him healthy. You want him in the lineup. But, yes, they are set up so good, and they are so deep, they can win games without him. They could possibly win the championship without him, but they're by no means are not a
I don't know about that.
But they are by no means a better team without him. Yeah. You don't think they can win without him?
I don't think they can win. I mean, I don't think they can win without him. The playoffs are a different monster. But obviously, the glaring thing and all is they're 19-1 without him in the regular season. So
let me ask you this. Just kidding. Not
when it comes to OKC, they can obviously be comfortable, moving forward with this situation. Obviously, the focus is making sure he's 100% healthy by the time playoffs do come around. It's been a tough year for Jalen Williams. He started off with the hand injury. He now has the hamstring. So I think the most important thing for OKC and making a great chance at winning another ring is making sure he's healthy by the time playoffs come around.
There it is.
No Cavs love, huh? Or hate?
What love are we giving them?
Yeah,
You just got your butts handed to you. No. Guess what? You know what? That was rude on my part. I'm sorry. We're gonna come back and we're gonna talk more.
Sometimes you need a little truth serum.
I know. It just sometimes you
Run it back, yeah. Run it up, run it back, yeah.
Bucks Hawks. It's all right. 3-game skid for the Bucks is over. 112-110. Giannis 21-17, 6.
There's Bobby Portis.
Bobby Portis with 19 off the bench. Woohoo! Jalen Johnson had 28, 16, and 6. And Nickeil Alexander-Walker 32.7 to 16 from the 3. It looked kind of ugly pretty early on, and then the fourth quarter comes along and something got really interesting. We're gonna get to the matchup, but however, the last shot was taken by CJ and not Jalen Johnson. How are we feeling about that, Boogie?
I'm not mad at it. I'm mad at the play. Obviously, it wasn't the best play to, for it to be a game-winning shot. I would have liked to see it in somebody else's hands, but CJ has a history. He's a big shot maker. He's been around this league for a very long time. But at the same time, like I said, I didn't like this shot. Young fella, the franchise Jalen Johnson, this is your opportunity to now step up and take those type of shots, lead this team. They obviously traded Trae Young and moved you into this role as being the franchise. So I look for, the franchise to handle those type of situations.
Yeah, and
Mayor of Atlanta, hold on a second. Is this true that the streets and the Atlanta Hawks fan base and Twitter, they're not big fans of CJ in this uniform? What's the problem?
He hasn't played great, right?
They never were.
You know what?
And I think CJ kind of drank the Kool-Aid a little bit.
What do you mean?
The talk of they traded Trae for nothing. And if you're CJ McCollum, you're looking at this like, y'all got me effed up. Like I can play at a high level, and I think I somewhat feels like, I don't want to say he's forcing the action a little bit, but I think he's in Atlanta trying to get his name.
25 shots is crazy.
That's interesting.
Listen,
Okay.
I'll let you speak on it in a second, but my opinion is I feel like CJ is trying to prove something to the world, to the naysayers, to the commentators, the trolls, and everybody, and it's not working out. I think they got to settle in and understand this is Jalen Johnson's team, and in no stretch of the imagination should that ball not be in his hands at the end of the basketball
Who's telling
game.
CJ that?
Well,
Like, how are we
also,
getting that
just
message?
straight, if you watch the clip, it's straight matchup. It's like Kyle Kuzma is backpedaling, guarding CJ, and Giannis is literally already set guarding Jalen Johnson. So it's like, what are you going to give the ball to Jalen Johnson right there at the top of the
Well, we got
key?
6 seconds. We got 6 seconds. That ball can move.
That
Ball can move. I can. If I'm CJ McCollum, I can go dribble handoff, pick Giannis,
this a
and now
timeout?
Jalen Johnson got Kyle
Was this a
Kuzma.
timeout
No,
or
it
just-
looked like they went full court and they didn't have a timeout.
But I'm
It was
right
just kind of a
here.
That's
gross
what
broken
look,
play. Like it was.
That's a shot. We still got 2 seconds. So we got
Yeah, it's
plenty
not
of
a great look. It's not a
Yeah,
good-
we got plenty of time. So if we want to get Jalen Johnson the basketball without a timeout going full court
CJ wanted
with
to
60
shoot that
seconds
ball,
left,
brother.
we still, when he shot
That
the
was
ball,
his
they
moment?
still had,
He wanted to
even
shoot.
had Kispert. He had 2 guys. He had 2 guys that he had an option to. So again, I just feel like he's just trying to get to a place where he can get the Atlanta fan base to trust him and
this won't
understand
be
that
it.
he's CJ McCollum, and it's just not working
How's
out
my
so
guy
far.
Kispert doing in Atlanta?
Long
His hair
term,
looks great.
long term, I think CJ settles in, and he's going to be a valuable option for the Atlanta Hawks. He's been that his entire career, so I don't see that being anything different. But I think early in this process, it's just not looking good so far.
So
My question is this: Why are the Atlanta fans outraged? Like, that's what I'm.
You were booing Trae Young.
not even expecting to
well,
win?
it's not even a CJ McCollum
because
thing.
it's I'll tell you why. 1-4 since the trade, and in 3 of the losses, McCollum's taken as many or more shots
They were-
than Jalen.
Sounds like their whole season.
They were also
Okay.
booing
He's
Trae.
coming off-
They were booing
coming
Trae
off the
Young
bench.
2 weeks ago.
They were
anyways.
doing that as well.
They were losing before the trade. They're still losing. Like, what's the outrage?
Is this a
about?
coaching thing? Like, who does this?
The outrage is when you trade Trae Young, like all of us felt, you're gonna get somewhat of a equal all-star, something like that in a package, and it didn't happen. And so when you have guys that come in, you want to at least see them perform, and that's where the outrage has come from. Whether we agree with it or not, that's where the outrage is.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, Trae Young's been their baby since day one. You trade him, and whether you love him or hate him or boot him 2 weeks ago, that's still your all NBA All-Star guy that you left, and you would expect something back of the same or kind of similar value.
Yep. And
it hasn't been. And Kispert hasn't been great. CJ hasn't been great, and they're 1-4. So it's like they make this big splash, and now they're losing more than they were before. It's just frustrating.
And
vicious cycle.
also, they've had some success without Trae Young, so the fans probably felt like that was going to continue on once you finally trade him. But when you add in other pieces
So
to
who
that
drank the
fold,
Kool-Aid, CJ or the fans?
I think everybody did.
Everybody.
Oh, that's more
I
like
think it's a
it,
big
yeah.
jug. I think it's a big old red jug of Kool-Aid.
Exactly.
Love
And,
Kool-Aid.
and
Is it a
everybody.
jug or a tub?
Okay, you know what? We're going to discuss jug or tub during the break. We'll be right back.
Run it up, then run it back. Run it up, run it back.
Guys, yeah, we talked a lot of Warriors today, and then during the break, full disclosure, scenarios pop up, and somebody said something about possibly maybe Steph Curry
The
going
race for
safe.
the race. Is there a better franchise if, and again, this is all hypothetical, so let's
Okay,
not
hold on.
get our panties in a
Get
wad
comfortable.
here.
Well, settle down.
To the Spurs.
I want to get him in a wad. I'll get him in a wad. Go on.
What about the San Antonio Spurs?
Oh, come on. Tell me
What
more
if
about
I
it.
threw you a little De'Aaron Fox, Sohan, or Keldon Johnson?
Whoa. You didn't say Keldon in the break. He's
No,
a
I said
fan favorite.
Sohan, but it's got to be something
You
sweet.
said Kelly
You
Olynyk.
cooking up a
I-
whole new
that's not
phrase
true.
now.
You
I said
literally-
Steph,
You definitely
Sohan,
said
Kelly
Kelly Olynyk.
That you
Olynyk,
Steph.
and like a pick or two.
Yeah.
You got to throw in a Sohan or a
And
Keldon
you
Johnson.
asked me if I, as a Spurs fan, am going to be cool rooting for Steph Curry, and
And?
the answer is yes.
And if there's a franchise,
Are you a Warriors? If you're a Warriors fan, are you okay with that?
You have
think
to
so.
be.
get De'Aaron
the
Fox,
picks,
that's
You
your
get
young.
De'Aaron
De'Aaron Fox
Fox, you get some
rules.
young
You get
assets, you
picks.
get some picks. I mean, they're obviously in the direction
What
of
year are these
rebuilding.
picks, though?
Who says no?
It doesn't matter.
They
got
do, because
picks.
this is a good draft.
They need some type of a head start. They have nothing going.
I don't know,
You just
Spurs
need
fans.
some sort of
let's
future
hear it.
assets.
Yeah,
and
they
by the way,
need
and again,
something.
it's not just going to be Fox and Olynyk. You have to. It's got to be a
Sohan,
Fox.
you're stuck on
and
Sohan.
either Sohan or Keldon Johnson.
Stop. You didn't say Keldon in the break. That's a different person.
I know, but I'm just thinking out loud. If I'm
but
the
I am a
Warriors,
GM.
I want more.
Well, you can have more picks. We love Keldon. And getting rid of
They have
Keldon.
This is all
Vassell. They
hypothetical,
have,
by
they
the
have
way.
Vassell.
And by we, I
they
mean
have
Spurs
Harper.
fans.
They have Castle. They have Vassell, Castle, and Harper. They don't need Keldon
Vassell
Johnson and
hasn't been
Sohan.
playing. Do you think Steph Curry
Well,
would
you're
be
bringing
excited
Steph
about
Curry
it?
in,
Throw a
too.
champagne in there.
Hold on. Now you're just adding things that you didn't. This is
I'm just saying,
bad
the
business.
Spurs have
Throw
the
the coach in
assets.
too. At this point.
Are they title favorites if Steph Curry goes there? The answer is yes.
Oh, absolutely.
The answer is 100%
Yes,
yes. What are you thinking about?
The Oklahoma City Thunder.
And
That's what I'm thinking about.
I think they're better than the Thunder.
Put Steph and Wemby together.
Because who
and you
dominates
don't
the
think that-
Thunder this season? Oh, I don't know. A little team I like to call San Antonio Spurs. Dominate the Thunder.
I'm just saying.
Without
yes,
Steph Curry.
I think it makes them better. By the way, Fox has been pretty good for them
He's
too.
been
But
great.
Steph Curry and Wemby is spooky.
Yeah.
I'm just going to sit back and think about it. Now I'm going to be thinking about
And
this for the
Steph
rest of the
Curry
day.
with like Castle clamps, it covers up his whole defensive holes. Like it makes kind of sense.
He's also like, oh, what a great vet to have. We got so many young,
Great organization.
professional. Spurs have.
Great
Hold on, the Spurs
organization,
fans in
too.
the chat don't want it. Pourquoi? What's the problem? You know what? I understand
They
that
love,
sentiment.
they love the young team. They
And
have.
Also, they're very close.
don't fix what's not broken right now. I think I got going.
I know, but I'm just saying it's the one trade
It's just,
scenario
we're just
that I
having
was like,
fun. We're just being silly.
I can't really think of.
we have no power.
Obviously,
Just a reminder.
this is a weird
I would do that.
situation for Steph, but just to think of the landscape of the NBA and think where Steph could land, I can't really.
Lou,
think of anywhere.
did Lou zone out? Like, what happened to Lou?
No, I'm standing firm on I don't think Steph Curry moving, so I don't want to play
Well,
Jimmy.
me
This is all
neither.
hypothetical.
Yeah, this is
I don't-
all fun.
I don't
We're
think
Fun
he's
just
talk.
being
moving.
silly.
Hypothetically,
But if he did,
Like I don't even know where else like makes
Nah,
sense. This
I
is
don't know
it.
what makes sense.
I think we just figured it out. If there's a
think the
move, it's
Spurs
here.
Are you
make
going to
sense.
make some calls, or how's this work moving forward?
call Mike.
Houston,
What happens to
What about-
Draymond if Steph leaves?
Throw
about
Kuminga,
Houston?
throw Kuminga in the deal.
Houston need a PG.
No, they got reached.
No. Draymond's not coming to San Antonio. We are not doing that. That part I say no.
Why not?
We
Y'all need a little
be
attitude.
profesh.
I'm sorry, profesh. Spurs are not doing that. I don't think they're doing that.
I almost wore my
think they're
Pistons
doing-
hoodie today, and I swear I put it back. So I was like, "Can I do this?"
I'm a bigger Pistons man than you
yeah,
are.
but
You're fair
JB
weather.
sent me that sweet hoodie.
Yeah, but he didn't know what he was getting into. I actually
you
support
go,
you
bro.
guys.
Thank
unlike
you.
the other one. Guys, we made
I
it.
trust you.
We'll be back tomorrow.